Hi everyone, it's the Vesak weekend in Sri Lanka. For a few days it did not rain and I watered my plants. Just a second later it started drizzling. So that's how the weather is. And the mango tree that you are seeing at the back, this is a very wild one. It's a wild mango tree. This has 4 peacocks in it. Yes, you heard it right. It's peacocks. If my son has footage, he will insert here. And if he doesn't watch this video before he uploads it, he will. Okay. This is my chrysanthemum budding up. Okay, it's totally rejuvenated and back to its normal health. If you guys remember, this has been in a basket earlier, so its roots can grow freely down, much airy. But since I potted it, it took some time to stabilize it. But the aerial roots, everything, they are full of new tips. Okay. And you're seeing my densifolia here. What I thought of doing was putting this with much direct sunlight. Formerly it was right over there. So the reason for me to put it over here was when I backtracked, I remembered this loved the sun. So these scraggly vines will need to recuperate now. So I will put the vines also to that side. Okay, and we'll see what happens. To tell you further about my last video, I told you I will not be trimming my elliptica, but I did. There were some broken pieces from here which I took off, and some vines which were not new but very bare without any leaves. And I'll show you how my hoyacollection has plumped up again. It's totally healthy now and it's doing very well. But in the last video again, I could not show this to you because the vines were facing the other way towards the sun. Right? I cleaned up all my reservoirs and added new water, but this is tap water, but it's tap water that is purified, filtered and purified from the stream that is in front of my house. Yes, there is a stream. There is a stream and there is a tea estate and a mango tree with 4 peacocks. One was walking on the ground right before I started this, but they are not domesticated, they are wild, so they fly away very quickly. Yes, peacocks can fly up high on that mango tree, as well as they can fly lengths too. I don't think that's something that you knew. Most of you. Okay, so let's get back to the point of the topic today. I just want to talk to you about the different conditions that will enable different types of Hoyas, aka the difficult Hoyas, to grow. These are the 2 main candidates for this video. Right? People who have been in my channel for over a year would know what I'm going to talk about. But for the others, one is a Hoya and one is a Dischidia. This is Dischidia Jerry and the Hoya name that has evaded me again. I'll put the name on the screen. Both of these were very slow Hoyas and Dishidias. Right? At one point, my decay would not thrive. Okay, and it thrived after I trellised it and put it into a semihydro setup, which is lava rock and charcoal for me. All my other plants are also in that same setup. Some has built-in reservoirs like the glabra schlechter, and some has the cover pots acting as their reservoir. Even my phalaenopsis, which bloomed so long, okay, that is also always in a semihydro setup. For the ease of this video, I put that spike away, but I need to free that so it will do what it needs to do when it comes to new KPs or whatever you want to do. And this Hoya booty is totally in deca with the top layer of pebbles. Here at the bottom layer, I have moved my plants around so you will see the plants that you normally do not see, like Hoya water and my Finlaysonii that has started to recover. So let me turn this around also and show you the new nice leaves. And you saw there are two new vines. Okay. Here, this was earlier in a semihydro setup with a reservoir. If I show you now, right, it was always in the coffee cup, right, and with this cow pot, right. And when these did not work out for me, what I did was I put this in cocoa peat. Okay, this is in full cocoa peat, nothing else, pure cocoa peat. Okay. I just got a block and I just expanded it with adding water, and then I repotted it. Then here, this would not do nothing for me at all, right? 2-3 leaves. If one leaf new pops up, one of the bottom leaves would always die off and it would go very dehydrated very soon in a semihydro setup, though it was in a semihydro setup, right? And now this is also in cocoa peat. So the reason behind both of these is not the media being pure cocoa peat, right? But because the weather also changed into a cooler climate. You should see in our forests in Sri Lanka, or villages, or housing that has been built around these forests, how easily these grow on a tree trunk. They just need somewhere to grab it. They necessarily do not need any kind of media because these are epiphytes, orchids and Hoyas. Right? It's not only the weather or the media or the care you give. The point of this video is it's the type of Hoya too. No matter how much you are hell-bent on growing an epiphyte in a certain method that is easy for you, it might not always thrive the same. That is why my Dishidia would not mind cocoa peat having a reservoir. If I want, I can throw and empty the reservoir, and if I forget, it will be there. But because the plant is growing and it got on with the media that I gave it as a last resort, it keeps growing and it keeps absorbing the nutrients, the fertilizer or the water I give it. So now if I show you fully, this is how it looks. It's very full and it's in the 600 milliliter coffee cup. Here also there's a drainage. I have never given this reservoir, so you can see the difference. This has a reservoir, this does not have a reservoir. But the media and being in the shade help this to grow. This loves shade. Okay. Being in partial sunlight and being in cocoa and water, it would still remain in the bottom. Help this. So I guess we need established a good root system, which the media helped it to do. It thrived. So most people, what they do is they use fertilizer as a method of thriving their plants. I use that too. In earlier videos, I have leaned on fertilizer and the plant being free of bugs and the media being in good health as three clear points for me to grow my Hoyas and orchids. Because that's all I could ask for, because I'm growing naturally, because I'm not using any kind of electrical method to control my surroundings like the humidity, water or whatever, right? The only thing that I lacked was low humidity, and once I reached that low humidity, my phalaenopsis, which did not bloom ever, threw in this maiden spike, and it always had 6 blooms, and it kept blooming and blooming and blooming until I took off those bug-eaten flowers and took off one of these new buds. It totally stopped it all. Maybe it got the signal, I don't know. Right? Otherwise it would have been still blooming. So I have changed my setup now. Okay. But for the purpose of the video only, I brought these here. Otherwise these two will be living here, right, in partial shade. Okay. And this will go directly onto the other side and facing the sun directly. Right? So that's how it is, guys. I'll just keep it there. It's not necessarily the care that you give, the conditions or the care that you give, but it is the Hoya which will decide how and what it wants to do. Thank you very much for watching. See you again. Bye bye.